Welcome to Writing Our World Curriculum Flow. The objective of this video is to walk you through the flow of the Writing Our World lessons. All lessons follow the same format so that both you and your students know what to expect each day. Every lesson starts with the why. Why is the skill important for daily life? And we really recommend you take time to ensure your students know why the skill is important to help them buy into the process. After the why, there's a clear objective for the lesson, which we also believe is crucial for students to really understand before diving into the work. There are recommendations for pacing, which are a balance of the 80-80 principle, that 80% of your students are achieving 80% accuracy on the skill, as well as using your practitioner judgment in understanding when are my students ready to move on and ready to kind of flex these new written expression foundational skills in more rigorous grade level content or activities. All materials are linked for easy access at the beginning of the skill, as well as embedded throughout the lesson at the appropriate places. There are teacher tips on what materials to prep ahead of time, as well as what assistive technology tools need to be set up and internalized before you're in front of kids. There is corresponding optional core knowledge content that you can access online for free, or at our high school level, there are book studies that we've created and recommend you use in conjunction with the written expression mini lessons if you don't have your own content in your classroom or private practice that you're using. And lastly, there are corresponding Tier 2 vocabulary words included at the beginning of each lesson. Now, we highly recommend you take some time to study the work of Isabel Beck so you really understand what a Tier 2 vocabulary word is and why it's crucial that we are explicitly teaching these words to our students. Her book, Bringing Words to Life, is one of the best resources we've found so far at Redwood and on the Writing Our World team in providing concrete strategies for how to best teach vocabulary. The more words that our kids know, the more set up for success they're going to be both for their writing and their reading. All right, let's get into the lesson parts. There are 4 lesson parts in each Writing Our World lesson. Part number 1 is the warm-up. We highly encourage you not to skip the warm-up even when you feel crunched for time. The warm-ups are either physical warm-ups, which were designed by an occupational therapist, they're brain warm-ups, review warm-ups, fun warm-ups, or opportunities to give feedback on each other's writing. Part 2 is the lesson. This is the I do, we do portion of the lesson, and it's scripted so that it's hopefully really easy for you to implement. There are 2 kinds of lessons. There are introductory lessons and then subsequent lessons. The introductory lesson plan is, just as it sounds, the lesson that you use when you're first introducing a new skill to your students. And then the subsequent lesson plans are lesson plans to use in additional applied practice so that you can ensure your students are ready to move on to the next skill. After part 2, we have part 3, which is the you do part of the lesson. This is the student application activity section. And this is when your students practice what you just taught them. There is either going to be student application activities that can be done solo or in partnerships, or there will be exit tickets if you think that your students are maybe nearing that mastery benchmark, or there are free writes, which are an opportunity for your students to flex those new growing written expression foundational skills and more real-life grade-level writing. For every free write activity, we do include a rubric so that you can easily provide that real-time feedback back to your students, which we know is a crucial part of the process. All right, after part 3, we end with part 4, which is just the wrap-up. This is a meaningful way to close out your lesson. It's an opportunity to review previous content or to do a quick check for understanding to ensure that your students either are clear on what that skill was or giving you new information to prepare you to reteach the skill the next day if you need to. Now, in the spirit of sharing each other's writing with each other, this can be a really vulnerable process for students, especially if they have learning differences or feel insecure in their writing. So please check out our guide for how to best set up your classroom for sharing writing with each other. It's crucial that students feel safe, and it's crucial that they get that feedback because it's a really important part of the process. So please check out our guide. All right, if you have any questions about the flow of the lesson, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We would love to talk to you more to ensure that you have the clarity that you need to deliver this program with fidelity and confidence.